Welcome to the class. See, in the last class, we have discussed some of the questions related to part A and part B. So, 1 mark question and 2 mark questions. We have covered some of the questions in part A and part B. So, let us continue to consider, see, part C. I am continuing from where we have left in the previous class. See, part C, we know, here also you have to answer any 10 questions carrying 3 marks. Okay, so here these are all 3 marks questions. 3 marks questions. So let us continue those questions in part C. Okay, so here I have given the number which was in the question paper here. See, 25th question. That is part C. So prove that the relation R. See, prove that the relation R in the set of integers Z defined by R is equal to. So one relation is given in rule method. See, this is given in rule method. So that is an equivalence relation. So we have to prove that this relation is an equivalence relation. So to show that the relation is an equivalence relation, what we have to prove? So that should be in your mind. See, the relation is equivalence if it is reflexive, symmetric, transitive. Reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. So given relation is R is equal to x comma y such that x minus y is an integer. X minus y is an integer. And given set is z of integers. Z of integers. So first we have to show that it is reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. So here let us consider first reflexive. So reflexive relation. So reflexive relation, so definition says, see, A comma A belongs to R for every element belongs to the given set A. So every element should be related to itself. It is a reflexive relation. So here, see, the given relation is x minus y is an integer. So here x and y are given, so you can replace this by x and y. See, A comma A, so that means, so I can take any one element, see x. So x should be related to itself. See, x comma x. So x comma x belongs to R. So is it true or not? See, x minus the difference of these two elements. See, x minus x. So x minus x means 0. So 0 is, 0 is an integer. Okay, difference gives me 0, so which is an integer. Therefore, R is reflexive. So reflexive property here holds good. So difference of x and x gives me 0, which is an integer, which obeys this property. X minus y is an integer. So here, see, like, let us go for second property, symmetric. So what is this symmetric property? So generally, so symmetric property means if AB belongs to R, this would imply, see, BA belongs to R. So if this holds good, then we can say that symmetric property holds good. So here let us substitute this here. See, AB belongs to R. So instead of AB we can use x and y. See, xy. So here I can write this xy belongs to R. So implies, see, xy belongs to R means x minus y is an integer. Okay, x minus y is an integer. So this implies y x belongs to R. That means difference of y and x3, y minus x is also an integer. So y minus x is also an integer. So difference of x and y is an integer, then difference of y minus x is also an integer. Therefore, we can easily say that R is symmetric. Okay, so here reflexive property holds good and symmetric property holds good. So next we have to consider this transitive property. So what is the transitive property? So let me write this transitive property. See, transitive property means, so we should have two pairs here. See, if xy belongs to R and yz belongs to R, implies xz belongs to R. So first and last element. We have to consider first and last element. So xy belongs to R, yz belongs to R, so xz belongs to R. So we have to apply this definition here. See, x minus y is an integer. Difference is an integer. So here, See, this implies xy belongs to R means x minus y is an integer, and yz belongs to R means you take the difference here. See, y minus z is also an integer. Okay, x minus y, that is also an integer. Difference of these two elements is also an integer. So if this gives me one integer and this gives me another integer, then this implies if I add these two, so here x minus y, this is an integer, plus then this y minus z, this whole thing is also gives me an integer. So sum of these two will also be an integer. So here this gets cancels. So here I get x minus z. See, x minus z is an integer. Okay, see, x minus z as an integer means it implies the pair x comma z belongs to R. Therefore, R is transitive. R is transitive. So symmetric also works good, transitivity also works good. Therefore, we can say that R is equivalence relation. So it is reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Therefore, R is equivalence relation. So R is an equivalence relation. So this carries 3 marks. See here, we have proved that it is reflexive because 0 is an integer. Then xy belongs to R means x minus y is an integer, and yx belongs to R means y minus x is an integer. So AB belongs to R, BA belongs to R. This is an symmetric relation. Then transitivity. So we have shown that if we have two pairs like xy and yz, then xz belongs to R. So difference of x and y is an integer. Difference of y and z is an integer. Then this sum gives me xz belongs to R, which is nothing but R is transitive. Therefore, so it satisfies reflexivity, symmetric and transitivity. Therefore, it is an equivalence relation. So this is a question which carries 3 marks. Okay, let us consider the next question. So, okay, 26th question. By using elementary, so I am writing the question here. By using elementary transformations, find the inverse of the matrix. So what is the matrix given? Find the inverse of the matrix. See, 1 minus 1, 2, 3. Okay, so find the inverse of the matrix. So this is the question number 26. So this also carries 3 marks. So in our previous classes we have also discussed how to find out the inverse of the matrix by using elementary transformations. Okay, given matrix is 1 minus 1, 2, 3. See, what is the procedure? So here, first thing is very important. Given matrix, let us think that as A. So given matrix can be written as identity matrix into A. So identity matrix into A gives me that matrix. Okay, I think this has A. So write this matrix on the left hand side. See, 1 minus 1, 2, 3. Then see identity matrix of 2 cross 2, of order 2 cross 2. So you write this A as it is. So then on the left hand side, try to reduce this matrix to the identity matrix 1, 0, 0, 1. So correspondingly go on applying the sequence of row operations. Then you reduce both LHS and RHS. Afterwards we get the inverse. See, observe here, it is already 1 here. So 1 this should be 0. Then we should try to reduce this element to 0. Then this will be at the end this will be 1. See, 1, 0, 0, 1. Okay. So let us apply sequence of row operations. See, we have written I first, I into A. So see here 1, 0, 0. So how can I make this element 0, or how can I make this element 0? So that all the things should be kept in mind here. So see here, I will make try to reduce this element to 0. So I am going to apply on first row. So if I going to apply on first row, see what happens here. See, 3 is there. Then so I can R1, I can write R1 changes to, or R2 changes to. Okay. So otherwise I can directly make this element as 0 or 1. So So this left hand side should be reduced to see 1 0 0 1. Then correspondingly, so right hand side will be reduced to see like this B into A. B is some other matrix. Okay, B is some other matrix. Then we say that B is the inverse of A. Then we write the inverse whatever we got in place of B. So that is the procedure here. Okay, so now I will apply and see R2 changes to see second row. So I want to make this element 0. Or can I make it 0? See here 1 is there. So R2 changes to that means I am going to change second row. So I am going to subtract here. See R2 minus see R2 minus. So before subtracting this, so this is 1 is there. So I will multiply the elements of first row by 2. That is 2 R1. So R2 minus 2 R1. So what is the meaning here? So let me write it here. Okay, so let's write this here as it is. If I am going to change second row, first row remains same. Okay, on both sides I will write the first row as it is. See R2 minus 2 R1. We have to make a rough work here. R2. So corresponding element of second row is 2. We'll write see R2 minus 2 R1. So what is R2 here? 2. See 2 minus 2 times corresponding element for this in first row. So that is 1. Here 1 is there. So 2 into 1. So that is 2 minus 2. That will be what? 0. So I reduce this to 0. Then same thing applies to this element also. So R2, what is the next element here? See 3. 3 minus, so 2 times. So what is the corresponding element for this in the first row? This is minus 1. So I will write the element here. Minus 1. That is 3 minus 1 minus plus 3 plus 2. That will be what? That is 5. So then, so continue on the right hand side. Okay, see here 0 0. So R2 minus 2R. So that is 0. Minus 2 times R1 is what? 1. So the corresponding element is 1. So 0 minus 2, that is what? Minus 2. So this is minus 2. Then similarly, so we have 0 on 0, so it makes no difference here. Okay, this is 0 1. See here, identity matrix is what? 1 0 0 1. Okay, so you can make this here. Okay, I will show it here. See R2 minus 2 R1. So this one is minus 2, then consider this element here. See 1, considering 1, see 1 minus 2 into, so corresponding element is 0, that will be what? 1 minus 2 into 0, 0, that won't change here, that will be 1 here. Okay, this is 1 0 0 1, so it is the identity matrix. See here on the left hand side, this element has been reduced to 0. So next I concentrate on this 5, see 0 1, so can I make this 1? So R2 I can apply on second row, R2 changes to, so what I should do here, see R2 changes to make this one, element 1, so you multiply every element of second row, see every element of second row by, see 5 is there, so 5 means I can multiply it by its multiplicative inverse, see 1 by 5, that is 1 by 5. So if I multiply every element by 1 by 5, see 1 by 5 into 0, it will be 0, 1 by 5 into 5, so it gives me 1. So I will write as R2 changes to 1 by 5 R2. So on the left hand side, see, observe carefully. So on the left hand side, I will write first row as it is, 1 minus 1. Then on the right hand side, I will write as it is, see here. So R2 changes to 1 by 5 R2. See, 0 into 1 by 5, so that will be 0. Then 1 by 5 into 5, so that will be 1 here. Then minus 2 into 1 by 5. See, minus 2 into 1 by 5, that is minus 2 by 5. That is minus 2 by 5. Then 1, see 1 into 1 by 5, that is 1 by 5. So I can multiply every element here. See 1 minus 1, 0, 1. So on the right hand side I got the elements. See here this job is over here, 0, 1. See 1, then this should be 0. So how to make it 0? Here minus 1 is there, 1 is there. I can add this and this. Okay. Then R1 changes to, see R1 plus R2. So R1 changes to R1 plus R2. This gives me, so I will write this second row. See second row as it is, minus 2 by 5, 1 by 5. See 1 plus 0, see R1 plus R2. 1 plus 0 it is 1. Then minus 1 plus 1, see minus 1 plus 1 it will be what? 0. So R1 changes to R1 plus R2. So we will write second row as it is. Then see here we have to make the simplification here. See R1 plus R2, 1, I will show it here, 1, 1 plus of, say R2, the corresponding element is minus 2 by 5, that is 1 1 minus 2 by 5, plus into minus minus. So you take the LCM 5, multiply every element by LCM, say 1 into 5, 5, then 2 by 5 into 5, that will be what? 2. So 5 minus 2, that will be what? 3, so that is 3 by 5. So that I will get 3 by 5. Then 0 plus 1 by 5. So what is the last element? See, 0 plus 1 by 5, that will be what? 1 by 5 only. Okay. So this right hand side, see we had this. So this has been reduced to 1001. So this is nothing but, see this is as I told earlier, this is I. Then whatever I got this inside the symbol here, that I think that has B A. This implies whatever I got this B. See, this B is the inverse of A. So what is the inverse of the matrix? So that this one is the inverse of the matrix. Therefore, B is equal to, see, 3 by 5, 1 by 5, minus 2 by 5, 1 by 5. So this is the inverse of the matrix. Okay. So this B is the inverse of the matrix. So we can write this as the A inverse. So inverse of the given matrix, this is the matrix given. So A inverse is equal to 3 by 5, 1 by 5, minus 2 by 5, 1 by 5. So this was the inverse of the matrix. So in this way we can continue the problem. Okay, this is the second question I have worked out in part C. So let us consider another example here. See, 20. Let me write it 29. I have another question here. Okay. Write. See, tan inverse of square root of 1 plus x square minus 1 divided by x, where x not equal to 0, in simplest form. Okay, so this is also a question carrying 3 marks in part C. Okay, so here this question is related to inverse trigonometric functions. See, we have to write this expression. What is the expression given? Tan inverse of. So inside the bracket you have, see, square root of 1 plus x square minus 1 divided by x. X is in the denominator, so x is not equal to 0 in simplest form. See here, we have to use the substitution method. Okay, substitution. We have to use the substitution method. So what is the substitution? For what we substitute here? See, substitution for x, proper substitution for x. So that we should remember here, important here. See, put x is equal to tan theta. See, put x is equal to tan theta, because 1 plus x square is there. So in simplifying, I will get what? 1 plus tan square theta. Then I can write that as secant square theta. So in this way the steps will follow here. So remember this, put x is equal to tan theta. This is the important substitution. See, then if I solve for theta, you shift tan to the other side, I will get what? Tan inverse x is equal to theta. So let us consider the expression here. See, tan inverse of, okay, observe this. See, square root of, okay, square root of 1 plus x square. See, 1 plus, so x is tan theta. So x square means what? Tan square theta. So that is, I will write tan square theta minus 1 divided by, so in the denominator I have x, so I can write tan theta. So I have substituted tan theta in place of x. See, 1 plus tan square theta, what is the 1 plus tan square theta means identity is what? Secant square theta. So I can write secant square theta. That is tan inverse of, see, square root of secant square theta minus 1 divided by tan theta. So because 1 plus tan square theta is secant, see, square root of secant square theta, so we will continue here. Tan inverse of, see, square root of secant square theta means secant theta minus 1 divided by, so we can write that as tan theta. Okay, square root of secant square theta use me secant theta. So then, okay, let us continue here. Tan inverse of, okay, tan inverse of, so I will write this, secant theta is in the numerator and tan theta is in the denominator. So secant theta can be written as 1 by cos theta. So I will write this minus 1 as it is divided by this tan theta, I can write it as the sin theta divided by cos theta. Okay, this tan can be written as sin theta by cos theta, and the secant theta can be written as 1 by cos theta. So for this we have to take the LCM here. So Okay, let us consider the LCM here. So what is the LCM? See here, 1 by cos theta minus 1, that is in the numerator. So I can take this one. See, cos theta is the LCM. So you multiply every term by cos theta, you get 1 minus 1 into cos theta, that is cos theta. So that is tan inverse of, see, 1 minus cos theta divided by cos theta. 1 minus cos theta divided by cos theta whole divided by, I write this sin theta divided by this cos theta as it is. Okay, so then see, in the denominator I have cos theta, so this get cancels here. Okay, so if cos theta get cancels, I get 1 minus cos theta in the numerator divided by sin theta in the denominator. So 1 minus cos theta in the numerator and see sin theta in the denominator. So now see, now 1 minus cos theta, then sin theta. So here we have to be very careful here. See, 1 minus cos theta means, so this is submultiple angle. See, submultiple angle or half angle formula. So how do you write 1 minus cos theta? So 1 minus cos theta can be written, see, cos theta. So 1 minus cos theta can be written as, this is a standard formula, 2 sin square theta by 2. Then in the denominator I have sin theta. See, so how can we write sin theta here? See, 2 sin theta by 2 into cos theta by 2. I am going to substitute these two results here. See, tan inverse, okay, tan inverse of, so instead of 1 minus cos theta, I am right, see, I will write 2 sin square theta by 2 whole divided by, then instead of sin theta, I can write 2 sin theta by 2 into cos theta by 2 in the denominator. 2 sin theta by 2 into cos theta by 2. So we have to note down these results, otherwise we will not get the result. See, so these two get cancels, then sin square theta by 2, sin theta by 2. So 1 sin theta by 2 will get cancelled. So what is the thing remaining here? Tan inverse of, so in the numerator I have sin theta by 2 divided by, in the denominator I have cos theta by 2. See, sin theta by 2 by cos theta by 2, that will be tan inverse of sin by cos, the ratio it gives me what? Tan theta by 2. Okay, sin divided by cos is tan. So now tan inverse of tan, so the inverse to each other, I will get only this theta by 2. So theta by 2 means, see, this theta is here, what we have got here, see, theta is tan inverse x. So I will write this 1 by 2 as it is. See, 1 by 2 instead of theta, I get what? Tan inverse of x. So the simplest form of this given expression is half into tan inverse of x. Okay. So here we have, see, here in part C, we have worked out 3 problems carrying 3 marks. That is 3 3s are 9. So in the previous class, I have considered some questions of part A, B, and in this class I have solved 3 questions carrying 3 marks. Okay, so let us consider part D in the next class.